This movie, The Gathering of Our Neural Liquid, is intended to show mankind how to make themselves smarter and stronger so they can fulfill God's prophecy of creating heaven here on earth. With this gathering of neural liquid, each human or animal will be able to utilize more of their brain power, thereby gaining a greater consciousness of their lives, and collectively, we as a society will have the ability to make our world the heaven it was intended to be. When the average income for 80% of mankind is $1 a day, when will mankind have the strength and the wisdom to create heaven here on earth? We at the Kingdom for God Foundation want you to look at our film and choose what makes sense for you. My name is ten-Tusscher. Many people believe glacier or spring water is the best water to drink. I'm hoping after you watch this video, you will also believe the worst water can become the cleanest, the healthiest, and the most hydrating water after this water is programmed to adapt to either a plant, animal, or human. The technology to program water is here for mankind to embrace. While our planet is still full of wonder and beauty, let us all make the most of our options.
How long did homeopathy, whose substances are diluted to the point that actually only the information is retained, have to struggle for recognition alongside traditional medicine? We are really delighted that several Austrians have succeeded in resolutely pursuing ideas that don't fit into mainstream science and have established them in spite of the criticism of the scientists. Today we have come together to honor Johann Grander for his achievements. His technology should point the way for today's researchers and also serve as a stimulus for the future. It should demonstrate that we are not yet able to completely analyze and understand nature, not even in the case of the most commonly researched medium up to now, water. So, this is a crazy man who invented something, maybe a charlatan. Possibly other strong words have been used. I can imagine the vitriol. And in this context, it is especially remarkable that a Russian scientific institution would take an interest in your ideas and try to verify or refute them.
Johann Grander has received 2 great honors. In the year 2000, the Russian Academy of Natural Sciences, which has 3 Nobel laureates among its members, awarded him its silver medal, the highest award ever made to a foreigner. A delegation from the Academy came to Jochberg in the Austrian Tyrol to present him with the medal. For many years they've been experimenting with Grander's water in Moscow, and they expect to make new discoveries about water in general. A year later, the Republic of Austria awarded Grander the Cross of Honor for Science and Art. The accompanying celebrations were a rare public appearance for Grander, who largely lives in seclusion. Water has so much intelligence. It's amazing, so much more intelligence than air. But no one has ever researched it. If people, and scientists too, knew even just 1% of what there is to know about divine creation, the world would be a different place.
I have seen some powerful results. I have seen things that I've had people come up to me and say, literally, if there's a miracle, that's the closest I could ever see to a miracle. We've had things happen. We had a woman come to us whose hands had been crippled in like this for years. She couldn't move them. Drank 4 ounces of water and her hands went like this and normalized. People about dropped dead in that room. Can this happen? Oh yeah, it happens all the time. You know why it happens? Because for many, many decades, somebody's telling us that they think they understand something about this organism called the human body, and I'm here to tell you, no you don't. No you don't. It operates on levels you don't even begin to understand. And I'm still grappling with it. I don't pretend to know everything. I don't have all the solutions. At any point in history, physicists really just wish they had all the answers. But we don't. I found out how to engineer water. The difference is all of these molecules stay to themselves. They don't get involved with other molecules. That's not the case with water. That's not the case with water at all. Pharmacology is a bass-backwards approach. It always was and always will be. At the basis of all chemistry is physics. To understand chemistry, you have to understand physics. I believe, in my opinion, the best approach is to forget chemistry, i.e. pharmacology, and deal with problems from the energy standpoint purely. Harmless, uninvasive, no side effects. There's no toxicity to it.
And you get better.
Because the energy, if it's not specific, it does nothing. And if it's not specific, it's also not harmful. It passes on through. See, the human body is actually more than anything else, it's a study in fluid dynamics. You're just a series of tubes, and inside of all those tubes are fluids. Quite honestly, you can't have life without water. All of biology is dependent on water. Try to have life without water and see how far you get. Everything you feel, everything you perceive in the world around you is an interaction between this particle that carries or mediates the electromagnetic force and the electron shell and the atoms that make up your body. Almost everything we experience is determined by that interaction between the photon and the electron shell. That electron has a negative charge. So I realized several years ago, this is a very, very simple algebraic operation. Now don't get freaked by this, it's just simple stuff. If I'm dealing with the electron that has a negative charge, then parity, time, energy, gravity, and entropy will have the opposite charge, a positive charge. You'll be dealing with positive energy, positive gravity, positive entropy, positive time. But in this simple algebraic operation, as soon as you change any one of the signs, they all reverse. They have to reverse. So, if time becomes negative, everything else becomes negative, but this becomes positive. Okay? Now, I worked from this end of the operation and went in this direction. And the assumption was this. If our experience is determined by the negative charge, which is the electron shells, what can we do with the proton in the nucleus of the atom? You know, there's a lot we don't know about the nucleus of the atom. We know that there's a positively charged entity in there. Seems to be made up of quarks. In this case, the proton is made up of two up quarks and a down quark, and the neutron is two down quarks and an up quark. Okay? But the neutron has no charge. And that's really interesting because as soon as you change the number of protons in the nucleus, it becomes a different element. The simplest is hydrogen with one proton. Now I can add a neutron to that, have deuterium. I can add another neutron to that and have tritium. And here's what science doesn't know yet. There are several heavy but unstable isotopes of hydrogen that go all the way to hydrogen 108. Incredibly unstable. They don't exist, but they've left remnants behind, and you have to know what to look for in the natural world. They've left remnants behind.